Well. What can I say? I can say good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, maybe to a few of you, good night. This is Leading Ladies, leading legacies, leaving legacies. And every Wednesday night, we come to you with a featured guest speaker. And tonight, oh my God. But let me share this with you. My name is Joy Ruffin, and my work is as a style and leadership consultant, a signature style specialist, speaker, executive producer, TV host, and podcaster. My work is with women who are second act, second chapter, midlife, transitioning like myself from one something to another, maybe feeling that you've lost your wow, and I support you in the erasing, eliminating all of that anxiety and worry and spending way too much money to achieve a look that you don't get. That's what we work with together. Oh, but tonight, my leading lady, my featured guest speaker, Megan Wade, is going to bring to you a lot of phenomenal, fantastic information. She has just released a new podcast, and we're going to talk a lot about this podcast because it's exciting, it's new, and it's so timely, and everything else is so good about it. So, my friends, sit back, relax, get comfortable, whatever makes you comfortable, and tune in and listen to all of the valuable, priceless nuggets that we're going to share with you tonight. So, please help me welcome my featured guest speaker tonight, Miss Megan Wade. Megan, hello and welcome.
Hi, Joy. Good evening. Thanks for
Good.
having me.
Oh my goodness, the pleasure is all mine. Thanks for joining me because this audience wants to hear a lot about what you're doing because most everybody today is somewhat working online involved with podcasting. So Megan, I don't have to say to you, but I do to the audience, your title I absolutely love. Release to Shine podcast. Tell us a little bit about this podcast and how you came to this name.
Joy, thank you. This podcast was inspired in the early months of the year 2020. A young man I taught sent me a reflective letter from jail. His reflection brought about an epiphany that I should send weekly messages to young people to help to prevent them from having to experience incarceration. That year, I read two books that confirmed my desire to create such a forum. And that was Tasha Mill's Mama, I Should Have Listened, and
Yes.
Chris Wilson's The Master Plan. Interestingly, that same year, someone with over 40 years of working experience realized that her tenure had come to an end. This woman was broken and depressed. After working with her to prepare for another job opportunity and seeing the positive results from the experiences we had, I knew then that whatever message I'm sending must include guidance for the mature worker who has lost confidence in themselves, regardless of how educated or experienced they are. Close to the end of that year, I joined Florida's workforce development system, and Joy, it all came together. I served individuals with felony records who were seeking employment and individuals who believed they lost their jobs because of ageism. It was then that the title of this book and the podcast became real. The words release to shine was a motivating statement I used with a client who was extremely depressed. She was in tears when I said to her, "You were released from that job to shine." This podcast will provide effective job search strategies for job seekers.
Megan, I don't brown nose. I don't put tiaras and crowns on unless they're deserved. The work that you're doing is so needed. The story that you just shared with us is so, it warms your heartstrings because you're doing and bringing together two elements that are priceless for me. You're bringing together the young, not only incarcerated, young period, but this guy that you mentioned to us, this young man, beautiful story, and the elder, more mature lady who felt that she had lost her mojo, so to speak, bringing them together and saying and showing and sharing with them that they can still shine. It's time to celebrate their lives. I absolutely love that. Now, I know because you shared with me, but I wanted others to understand this. You're working, and you mentioned workforce that you started with your title, you're the founder of this new podcast, but as a career coach, that means that you support them and carry them in all the different arenas that they need to become more knowledgeable in so that they can shine in what they're doing.
Absolutely.
I tell you, this is really great. To date, what have you found? I heard the word confidence, and that applies, Megan, to almost all of us, no matter what we're doing at some point or sometime in life. But what are some of the key elements that you found in working with these two extremes, the young, not necessarily always incarcerated, and the more mature? What are the key elements that you find other than confidence that you have to support them in bringing together their own sense of who they are so that they can shine?
Feeling as if they don't belong,
Yes.
a feeling of rejection, that the
Yes.
world is rejecting them. The more mature workers believe that no one wants to work with them because they may not be moving as fast. But I want to use this forum, Joy, to say to employers right now, you have
Yes.
made a big mistake when you're letting go older workers because you believe they are no longer useful. Those are the most committed and loyal workers you will ever have.
Megan, thank you for that. I celebrate you for that because that is my mantra. And one of the things, and to tie into that, Megan, I'm sure you would agree with me. We tend to think that wisdom only comes as we mature and as we age. But I know you have met many a young person that is full of wisdom and wise,
Absolutely.
just not maybe knowing how to channel for all the different varying reasons. But when you mention that word wisdom, it comes, and that loyalty, ah, that's priceless. That's priceless. How do you, I know that it's a series of so much that you do, but what are some of the keys and the secret sauce that you give the people that you're working with to build them back up so they can see their wisdom and their brilliance?
Motivation.
Yes,
I have
yes.
to motivate them and I need to listen.
Ah,
Effective listening is one of my greatest strengths. And that is what I bring to these two groups of people because I must listen and I must be empathetic and
well,
patience. Patience.
you mentioned the keys there because the reality is I started off sharing with you a little bit earlier before we went on air here, and this applies to all of us, no matter what status, what age, where we are in life. We all want to be seen, we want to be heard, we want to be valued, we want to be acknowledged. We want you to see us for who we are. And so, if you're able to listen, and Megan, I've had so many mentors. You're one. But one of my many, many mentors, it's true, you've guided me and helped me in so many ways. But this mentor said to me, Joy, we have to always remember, and you just said this different verbiage, but the same thing: listen, be patient, and meet people where they are.
Absolutely.
Yet, no one is better, but you have more guidance and information and knowledge to share with them. Doesn't mean you're any better, but you're giving them tools and tips and nuggets that will carry them into the arenas that they want to go into. So I love that. Now, the book. Oh, the book. We're going to get back to the podcast. Now, tell us a little bit about this book. The title will always be with me, embedded, embodied in me, released to shine. We all want that. Yes. Share with us.
Joy, the book is a guided process for
Ah,
effective job searching.
yes.
I'm aware that many of those individuals I've worked with had no clue where to start. So when they come in to see me, they're usually confused. I don't know what to do. I don't know why I was sent to you. I don't know what you can help me with. And once I just listen to them,
Yes.
and then I say to them, what is it that would get you out of bed and you
Yes.
don't feel like you're working? Just tell me, what is in your heart? What drives you? Where's that passion? What is it there for? And when they share, sometimes things come out of them, Joy, that they never,
I bet. I
they
bet. I
didn't
bet.
even realize was
Yes.
there all the time.
You know what, Megan? What you just said and how you described it to us kind of took my breath away. Why? Because we've all heard this saying a zillion and one times, but I'm all about connecting. I'm all about collaboration. And I'm all about us, especially women, love men, but especially women sticking together and understanding and collaborating, sharing. Many of us, we might have every kind of great gift there is to be given, but sometimes we can't see ourselves. That's why you need other people. So you said they're clueless, they're confused, but sometimes you have the patience, not sometimes, all the time, the patience, and you listen and you're able to zero in on maybe what they can't verbalize, but as soon as you send it back to them, it resonates. I think that's true in every situation that you can be in when you're working to be a mentor, a guide, a teacher, a messenger for other people. Have you found that to be so somewhat?
Yes. And I realized that those individuals who were incarcerated, they are blinded by the
Yes.
mistake that they made, and that holds them back. They can't even see beyond that because that mistake is right there before them. They can't see how they can move forward because people are already rejecting them. Relatives have
Yes.
rejected them, friends have rejected them. They have applied for jobs and they have been rejected. They can't see through what I'm saying
It's like a
at
stigma
that moment, yes.
at
But
that moment.
I recall a few of my colleagues have said to me, what do you do with those people when they come in to see you? Because when they come out, they're different.
Yes. Will you listen?
they're, they're different. They're talkative. They came in here depressed and they're talking and laughing and, you know.
Well, there's that stigma that's attached, and people can be judgmental and critical for so many different reasons. And a lot of people, Megan, and I know, and a lot of people in the audience here now, and those for the replay will attest to this, that they really judge people before they really get to know them. What I'm hearing from you, Megan, and I know you enough to say that I can see and feel what you're doing, because not only are you tuning in, you're looking and you're listening beyond what they're saying and what you're seeing, and you're getting to the core of what it is that they want. Even though I'm sure you're asking, what is it that you really desire? What is it you're looking for? And then you support them in getting there. But that word that you use is a very powerful word. They are blinded, not only confused, but blinded, not able to see. So you're helping them to reconnect their vision for what's possible for them. What a beautiful gift to give. That really is, it's something that not everyone can do. Are most of the young, is it men and women or just men that you're working with? I know the answer, but I
Men
want to
and
hear it from you.
women, men
Men and
and
women.
women.
Yes, men and women. And if that's the case, this is not a dig, it's not a judgment, but I have a feeling, and I don't have to be right. I can be wrong. I think you know that. I bet you get more men than women, though. More men are incarcerated than women.
Yes. For the
Yeah, yeah.
incarcerated part, yes.
Yeah,
More
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
men.
yeah, for the incarcerated. And probably a little bit more difficult, not so much for you, but getting to them so that you can allow them and so that they can see all the potential and possibilities that are awaiting for them out in the real world, so to speak. I think it's great the work that you're doing. Listen, you have the new podcast, Release to Shine. I don't know how you came up with that title, but I love that title because this is what everybody wants, Megan. Don't we all want the same thing in a
Yes.
different ways, how we embrace and take it in? And so I get
Yes.
that. And then the book that's coming up, we're going to talk about. But before, I don't know where that noise is coming from. Before we do that, I'm going to take a quick little break, a reset, and speak to something here. And then when I come back, I want to talk a little bit more about your book and what your next steps are. And then we'll go from there. So hold tight. Carell is going to take you into the green room for a second or two. And then I'm going to chat with you about the sponsor that we have, which is Abundant Healing. And what we're going to be talking about is all of this excitement over this harmonic egg. My friends, I've had 2 sessions. I'm going to have one more. This is sort of new age, not really. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. I cannot relay to you the excitement and the energy that being in this remote session can give you. If you're near and you're there, go. But not if you're like me and away, then call the number, make an appointment. And they have so many other services that they can offer. But we're promoting the harmonic egg here because it's just new age, it's exciting, it's dynamic, and you'll get a lot of healing information. And the service that they offer through this harmonic egg will blow you away. And I will attest more to that after my next session. I can only tell you that if you have high energy, it's going to get higher. And if you're really desiring something and you're honest with yourself, it's going to support you in the development and the striving to get there. So make sure you do that. And then I want to speak to Megan's book once again. If you could put that up, Kirill. Her book, which is a guide, Release to Shine, a basic guide for career and job searchers, seekers. We're all searching and seeking. The journey never ends. But this book, I know Megan, and I can only tell you that this is going to be probably one of the best books you could read. And maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's for someone in your family or extended family or friends, which is extended family, that you could give as a gift. Because this book is packed full of information that will support you in making your transition to whatever it is that you're wanting in the job career arena. So make sure you take, and we're going to give you more information about that as I get back to Megan and we talk further. But make a note, take a snapshot, a screenshot, and then we can talk a little bit about that. Take a snapshot, take a screenshot, and then you'll have this book there, even though we're going to give you more information as Megan and I talk. Megan, one of the things that happens here on this platform is that we have a broad base, we're global, we're international, we go everywhere. And so all of the issues that we all deal with, they're universal. So why, I know the answer, but I'm asking anyway. You are ready almost to release this book. By the way, tell us, it's going to be on Amazon. Before I go any further, we can repeat this again and again. Tell us about the book, when it's going to be released, the Kindle version and everything. Share a little bit about us, with us about that, and why Release to Shine. Yes.
Okay. The book is available on Amazon for pre-order. The Kindle version is available now for pre-order.
Great.
The paperback will be available for pre-order on Friday, early Friday morning. And the book will be available for purchase on April 3rd. And then
Great.
you ask me why Release to Shine. And
Yes.
I want to use the analogy of a butterfly, the caterpillar, from caterpillar to butterfly, to share that with you. Have you ever watched that process, Joy? From caterpillar to butterfly? Okay.
I have. And I have to tell you, I can only be honest. It's my DNA. But I have to tell you, I've watched it a couple of times. The first time, I couldn't watch it all the way through. I couldn't watch it all the way through.
Because it's painful to watch.
It was painful. But then and you know what had to happen for me, Megan, which is what you're going to do here somewhat? A friend that I was with shared with me, because they were much more knowledgeable than I about the process and everything that happens. And then because of my insatiable curiosity, I was eager to really watch it from A to XYZ. So I did. But yes, it is a process. So share with us.
The process from caterpillar to butterfly is painful. It is so painful that one who is watching may want to cut the cocoon, thinking that the butterfly will be better off, but it wouldn't. The reason being is that process of pushing strengthens the wings of the butterfly and allow it to fly. If that process is cut short, that butterfly would never fly. And I want to say to you, career and job seekers, when one is released from a job or a position that gave them identity and worth, you too may feel traumatized, as that butterfly probably does. But look at the beauty of the butterfly once it's released. It becomes a creature, a rare creature of beauty. One released from their job can also become a picture of beauty, potential, and purpose. You have untapped potential that is waiting to explode. If one is released from a correctional facility, I want you to take note that you have left that institution to become the best version of yourself.
Yes.
Make a decision to change the cycle because you are a butterfly. You are released from that situation to become a man or woman who will make valuable contributions to our society. And I'm encouraging you to get a copy of Chris Wilson's book, The Master Plan. It will help to change your life and the narrative you've been telling yourself. You have now closed a chapter of your life that should never be repeated because you're starting a new chapter to become who you're supposed to be. I believe if negative words, Joy, such as fired from, lost, lost
Yes.
my job, ex-con, ex-felon, are eliminated from the job seeker's vocab, and instead words such as I am released to become who I was created to be, or I'm released to change this chapter to a new one, it would be easier to move forward. And I want to share a quick little story right here, Joy. There was a
Do.
young man in one of my classes when I taught high school. Every
Uh-huh.
morning I'd greet my students. And this young man, every morning, when I say, how are you this morning? He would say, I'm tired. One day, one day he shouted in the class while I was doing a lecture. He said he's going to take his life. I wrote a note immediately and sent him to his counselor. Immediately after class, I called his parents. And his dad shared a story of challenges. They were not sure how to cope because they had taken him to counselors and doctors with no
Uh-huh.
results.
Oh
The
my.
next morning, when I greeted him, I challenged him to substitute the word tired for thankful and to
Ooh.
find one thing to be thankful for every day. And I said to him on a Friday, I want you to come and spend some time with me at my desk and share the 5 things that you're thankful for. Each week we had a discussion about the things this young man was thankful for. And I saw his grade move from a F to a B.
Wow.
One night I was grading assignments and received an assignment alert. It was his assignment. I checked the time on my computer. It was 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. at night. This boy, I was elated that this young man was submitting assignments at
Committed.
10 o'clock in the night just
Yes.
because he changed the narrative. He had not submitted an assignment for several weeks. But now his mindset had changed. He was no longer tired. He was thankful. He became my assistant in class and inspired the other students to complete and submit their work on time. I have an
What?
email. I have an email from his dad
What a story.
thanking me for what I had done to change the behavior of his son. Having
Wow.
changed his narrative, he realized there was so much more to be thankful for.
Megan, thank you for sharing that story. That was a good story because that brings together all the different components you're doing and why you're doing it. I think it's fantastic. You used a word there for many of who are incarcerated and then they come out, they're traumatized. And the word that you're using, released, and for the mature lady as well, released to shine, because that's what it's all about. Now, that story was powerful. Here's what I want us to wrap up with before we go back to the books and where they can purchase at Amazon. But I love to vet people. I like to, as much as I can, to make sure that the people that who inspired us will be able to inspire others. You mentioned 2 books that you read. Share with us the title of those books and a little bit about the books briefly, because we only have a few minutes. But I really want people out there to maybe who are interested to get those books and see how those 2 books can change their life as well. Yes, tell us a
Tasha
little bit about
Smith Mills wrote a book called Mama, I Should Have Listened.
that. That's
And
what I
this is
got.
it's written by Tasha and her son, who is incarcerated. He's serving 40 something years
Oh my
for the
goodness.
use of a BB gun. He used a BB gun and he got 40 years.
40. Oh my God.
40, I think it's 42 years.
Oh my goodness.
And the sale of the books will help Tasha to
That's what.
put a legal team together
Yes.
for her son, because this
Yes.
is a young man who should be released from incarceration
Wow.
based on the information that she shared in that book.
Oh my
Chris
goodness.
Wilson's book, The Master Plan. Chris was a 16-year-old boy, lost, confused, charged for murder. He was given a life sentence. But Chris changed his life while in prison. Chris now has a master's degree in business administration. He was
Wow.
released after 16 years.
Oh my goodness.
He's a contributor to society. Chris is in
Yes.
Maryland.
Oh my God. You know, this is what I wanted you to share. Thank you for that, because the master plan I'd heard about, I have to confess I haven't read it, but I did read something about a review or critique for that. The other book, The Mama, but both of these, I want to listen back to this and get them, because I was a voracious reader, but I can span through it. You've given us the gist, but the book needs to be read, both of them. So thank
Both
you
of
for
them.
that. I tell you, Megan, the work that you're doing, you are an inspiration to more people than you can ever realize. I realize without question that your passion, the love, and the heart and soul of you is involved in supporting other people to rise to be all that they're here to be. And I celebrate and commend you for that. The time goes here, it flies very quickly. Tell us a little bit more about the books, the pre order, the Amazon, Kindle, and what they can expect about this guidebook, Release to Shine, and a little bit more about your podcast before we wrap this up.
Well, both the podcast and the book are encouraging, motivational, inspirational material
Yes,
to
yes,
help you to navigate job seeking. On the
yes,
podcast, we will have career coaches, counselors, individuals who have made mistakes and have had a comeback. And all of those stories will inspire job seekers to get out of that place of feeling rejected and complacency and move outside of your comfort zone to
yes.
who you were created to become.
Oh,
I
Megan.
want to remind job seekers that when a door closes,
Another one
another one
opens.
is about to be opened. And when that chapter of your life is closed, close it. Don't try to extend it. It is closed. Move on to the new chapter, a new beginning, new opportunity, a new and better you. And those are my
Megan,
words.
Megan, I am so excited for you. I use this expression all the time. I'm over the moon because I feel maybe other people have done somewhat what you're doing, but not with the love, the passion, and the heart that you're doing it with. I wish you much success, which you will have. I will always be in your camp, in your corner, circling around and applauding you. Be well, stay safe. Much love, and thank you for everything. Thank you, thank
Thank
you,
you,
thank you.
Joy. Thanks
Oh
for
my
having
God.
me.
The pleasure was mine, all mine. Oh my goodness. What can I say? She said it all. My friends, your assignment, you know I love homework, is to make sure to order this book, Release to Shine, to also tune in to Megan's, not so much brand new, it's for a while, her podcast. And then any and every and all the people that you know who can gather information and priceless tools and tips from her, send them over. Because here we're all about making all the best connections that we can, because we all need each other. And may I say, as I always say, it's a pleasure to spend time and space with you. I love good company, whether you show up here live or for the replay. And I know the replay you do because we're also active. You be well, you stay safe, you look after you, take care, because I'm sending you always from my heart to your heart. Receive it. Much love. Be well, stay safe. Good night for now. Cheers.